Hey everybody, it's Justin here to review Terminator Genisys. Before I get started with my review, I'd like to welcome my good friend 22TigerDude, who's going to give his thoughts on Terminator Genisys. So 22TigerDude, the floor is yours. What did you think of Terminator Genisys?
Hello everyone on Justin Watches Movies channel. This is 22TigerDude here, and I want to thank my awesome buddy Justin Watches Movies for bringing me here to review Terminator Genisys. Now, going into Terminator Genisys, the trailers look terrible. I am not gonna lie. I thought this movie was going to be a complete and utter disaster, and I really tried my best not to really doubt this movie, but the trailers just looked horrible, and of course, to top it all off, the trailer spoiled the twist as well as the movie poster, so that did not help at all. I really did not have any hope for this movie whatsoever. I gotta say, I was really surprised by Terminator Genisys. I was actually surprised it wasn't the disaster that the trailers made it out to be. I thought it was actually very interesting. Now, granted, I can understand the criticisms behind this movie. I can understand why someone can come up to me and say I hated Terminator Genisys, and I already know a few of my good YouTube friends that hated this movie, but honestly, to me, I actually thought it was really interesting. And we got some homages to particularly the first Terminator movie, and the young Arnie meets with the old Arnie and the fight between them. It is just badass. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he is back, baby, as the Terminator, and he does not disappoint. I thought he was absolutely awesome. I loved Arnie, and he was surprisingly quite comedic. He brings back what made his character so great for the first three movies. Even though I really hated Terminator 3, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be one of my positives with that movie. And the surprise about this movie is actually Emilia Clarke as Sarah Connor. Now, I know people had issues in terms of how she was written, but honestly, to me, I think she perfectly captures what Linda Hamilton captured in the first two Terminator movies. There's a bond between her and Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator, which I thought was handled so well, and it's honestly one of the best aspects. And I think character-wise, Sarah Connor, played awesomely by Emilia Clarke, was a very interesting character. I felt she was a strong female character because she was badass, but you can tell that she has no choice in life, and when I get to her story, it makes me really feel for the character. As for Courtney, he's average. He didn't really do too bad as Kyle Reese, but yeah, he's just average in this movie. As for the action sequences, I thought the action sequences were very well filmed. Jason Clarke, okay, as John Connor. The visual effects, for the most part, I thought they were very well done. There's times where the visuals could have been cleaned up more, but I did like the visuals for the most part. They were pretty good. I actually thought how they alternated the timelines from the previous Terminator movies, I thought it was very interesting. There are flaws, like I did think we could have done without the twist, which I won't spoil in case you haven't seen the trailer. I don't know if Justin reveals the twist in his review, but I'm just going to say that the twist I could have done without. There's an opening scene that I felt was rushed. Some of the visuals could have looked a lot better. The T-1000, he was a really cool character. He was badass. I just felt like he wasn't explored enough. And I do feel like Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor's romance in this film was quite forced, but overall I thought Terminator Genisys was really interesting. I can understand why people hate this movie, however, but for a guy coming into this movie thinking it's going to be a complete disaster, it was quite the surprise. So overall, I'm going to give Terminator Genisys a B. So thank you very much, Justin, for having me here to review Terminator Genisys with you, man. And you guys, this is 22TigerDude here, and don't forget that I will always have Tiger Power!
Thank you 22TigerDude once again for being on my channel here to discuss Terminator Genisys. Going into Terminator Genisys, I was excited. I really like this idea of an alternate timeline. It's kind of the same story, but its own take on it. Some of the trailers did look a little cheesy and gave away too much. But I was honestly looking forward to seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger back, a new cast, and a fresher new story. Unfortunately, this movie has a lot of downs, but a few ups It's not a bad film, but I wouldn't go say it's a good film either. Some of the positives in this film, I really enjoyed Arnold Schwarzenegger in this role. His mechanical ways, his stiffness, just really worked for this role. In Terminator 1, he was a scary character and showed no emotions, and he was going to kill you. Here, he didn't really show emotions either. He was trying to be funny because Sarah Connor is teaching him certain ways, so it's funny at times, and also reminiscing of how good Terminator 1 was. Yes, there's a lot of reminiscing of how Terminator 1 was, and I think there was a lot of shots for shots of Terminator 1. I can understand being in a throwback at times, but literally when it's a shot for shot, there's no creativity there. They did explain certain things that didn't happen in Terminator 1, like how Kyle Reese, when he was sent back into the past, how he fell and Arnold Schwarzenegger was so perfect. They explained some certain things like that, which I appreciated, but other than that, a lot of the things were a shot for shot, and that just showed no creativity for me. A lot of the actors in here, besides Arnold Schwarzenegger, were really bland and stale. I hate Courtney. He's probably a really nice guy, but he's very stiff in his roles. And it makes me honestly worried for Suicide Squad because I do not like him in any of his movies. And here he just showed me why I did not like him. He's bland, he's stiff, he's stale. Nothing about his character pleased me. Sarah Connor, played by Emilia Clarke, was alright at times. I felt like she tried too hard to be a badass, and other times her dialogue was weak and she was just acting, and it wasn't fun to watch. Some of the action scenes were fun, but a lot of them were in the trailer. So in the movie, they're just extended a little bit. Nothing too exciting. None of them were memorable, but a little bit of the end action scenes were fun to watch. Then there's the timeline. You have this timeline where Kyle Reese is sent back into the past to protect Sarah Connor. He's going there expecting that she's going to be a weak woman and he has to protect her from the Terminator. In this alternate timeline, she's already prepared for him, and she already has Arnold Schwarzenegger protecting her. I understand making a different alternate timeline, having some fun with it, but it completely throws off the timeline from Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 that they set up perfectly, and we got to understand. We love it. And then you have Terminator Genisys that completely messes it up. It makes it very confusing at times when you're trying to piece together Terminator Genisys with Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 and all the other Terminator films, and it just throws off everything to the point where I don't even really care what is going on. So Terminator Genisys, I did like seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger back. Some of the action scenes were fun, but most of the actors were stale. The timeline was confusing, and it lacked creativity all around. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Terminator Genisys a C-. This is Justin Watches Movies with his review of Terminator Genisys, and thank you once again 22TigerDude for being on my channel here to discuss Terminator Genisys. I'll put the link down below for 22TigerDude's channel. Go over there, subscribe, and tell him Justin Watches Movies sent you. So this is Just Watches Movies, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.